When I first opened my acceptance letter to Northeastern in late March, I was slightly skeptical when I read I wouldn't be attending the Boston campus, and instead I would be sent overseas via the NUN program. I knew starting my college career halfway around the world wasn't the normal route most freshmen would take, but I figured why not? Upon my arrival in Melbourne, Australia, I knew that the next 4 months would present me with a lot of challenges, both academically and socially. After meeting my roommates, our first challenge arose quickly: cooking. Because there was no set meal plan, we immediately had to learn how to cook all of our own meals. The first couple of weeks resulted in a lot of macaroni and cheese and ramen until we found our inner sous chef and began to cook meals like chicken parmesan and shrimp alfredo. After a week of getting acquainted with the area and also the time zone, all 144 of us loaded up on buses and went to the Hughesville Sanctuary. Here, we got to see native Australian animals, including koalas, emus, and of course kangaroos. After the opening week festivities had concluded, classes started, and I found my American education had prepared me well for the challenges that college classes would bring. One of the early highlights of the trip was getting to see an Australian rules football match, or as the locals call it, footy. Footy is nothing like American football, and the main objective is to punt the football through the 3 posts at the end of the field while trying to avoid being tackled by oncoming defender. Another excursion that we had the privilege of going on was Phillip Island. Here, we got to race and roll down sand dunes, explore Australia's awesome beaches and views that they offered, and the highlight of the trip was seeing tiny little penguins come up on shore at sunset. I had never seen a real-life penguin before and had no idea that they came to Australia. Midway through the semester, we had our spring break and 10 of us guys went to Cairns in Queensland to check out the Great Barrier Reef. While we were there, we went scuba diving and saw some of the most amazing underwater ecosystems in the planet. The very next day, we went on a tour of the rainforest and got to slide down natural water slides and swam under a 100-foot waterfall. Even though a week in Cairns was nice, it was nice to get back to our home in Melbourne and settle down for another 6 weeks of class. In mid-October, we got to go on the Great Ocean Road, which is a long, windy road that features breathtaking views of Australia's coastline. Along the way, we were able to see wild koalas, Australia's fabled 12 apostles, and we got to swim inside of a cave. My global experience class was unique in that it placed a large focus on cultural integration and community involvement. Throughout the semester, our class helped serve food and clean at the local Salvation Army soup kitchen on weekends. When I first heard of this new responsibility, I was a little disappointed that I would lose many of my lazy Sundays, but I soon realized that volunteering at the soup kitchen would be much better than I thought. 3 times throughout the semester, all 144 students got together for a big service learning project. We helped raise money and awareness during Parkinson's Victoria, a walk in the park, advocated healthy lifestyles and exercise in the Bicycle Network's Loop Around the Bay, and helped raise money for Second Bite, which redistributes unused food to people who need it. As a last hurrah, our entire group made our way to Australia's biggest city, Sydney. We all stayed in one big hostel and were given free reign at the city for the weekend. Sydney was one of the coolest cities I had ever seen, and it almost made me wish we had studied there. Almost. With the combination of service learning, a new culture, and a tight group of Northeastern-bound students, I will return to Boston with a multifaceted education and never forget this life-changing experience.